I'm good? Okay. A little bit about Modern Brewery. We opened up in July of 2014. At that time, we were only a two-person brewery, myself and my partner, Ronnie Fink, who is our head brewer. We were best buddies going back from high school and grade school. At the time that we decided that we wanted to do something together, he was working at Monsanto, not really enjoying life, working on corn, I believe it was. And I told him that I was going to be going to the UC Davis Master Brewers program, that maybe he should consider joining me. And so he thought that was a pretty good idea. We both headed out to California, did this super intensive Master Brewers program, and once that concluded, he started working for Free State Brewery out in Lawrence, Kansas, and I shopped around St. Louis for a building for some investors to try and get this, this dream to have it come to fruition. And I'm glad that we did. So 2014, just him and I, we had two fermenters, and all we could even imagine doing was keg beer at the time. And that's still what the only form of package that we send out today. We do now have a tasting room at this point. That opened in November of 2015. Shameless plug here, we're open Fridays and Saturdays from 4 to 11 p.m. And we have generally 12 beers on tap from us pretty much every week. So we brought 5 styles to check out today. We brought our Belgian triple / golden strong. I use that / because can't really necessarily pin it into a certain category. It's kind of a best of both worlds, in my opinion, style of beer. That'll be leading off, and then we'll have our Belgian brown, which is kind of a blend of a double and a dark strong. You'll find that we can't necessarily make up our minds what we want to do. We just kind of do it and see how it goes. So that'll be the next one. That's our Belgian brown. It's called Clandestine. And then we'll have an array of IPAs. So hopefully, I heard from Chad that you guys typically favor the malt beers, but you're going to have to bear with me and check out our IPAs, and hopefully I can convert at least one or two of you who doesn't like hops into eventually liking some hops. So we'll have Citrapolis, the first IPA that we'll be tasting. That's our flagship and bestseller. Then we'll have our Odinson, which is I think might be my personal favorite. And then we'll have what's called the Healer, third of the IPA. So 5 beers total, and we'll go from there. Are we getting beers passed out now? Okay. Yes, question. Yes.
What is your name and where are you located?
My name, personal name?
Yes.
My personal name is Beamer.
That's it. Okay.
You can call me Beamer. My real name is Philip Isley. I go by Beamer because... No, I'll tell you the story. We got time. So, yeah. The story is I have sisters. They're identical twins, and they're a year and a half older than I am, and they couldn't say Philip when they were really small, so they call me Baby Man. As you could tell from my appearance, I guess that would have fit the bill back then. Then B-Man, and then Beam, and now I'm Beamer, and so I've been Beamer since I was about this tall. And located as in where do I live, or where is the brewery? Okay, so the brewery said, I was going to say, awkward. Well, I'm looking, so, hook up with me after the show. So the brewery is on Manchester. It's between Hampton and Kings Highway. The specific address is 5231 Manchester Avenue, and we are Unit E. A quick thing about the tasting room, if you wanted to come by on Friday or Saturday, is we're kind of tucked back in an industrial court area, so you kind of have to look for us, and if you blink, you might miss us. So when we're open, we pull up our 49 Chevy truck to the front of the building complex, and that's kind of our sign, because we don't have a sign otherwise. Yes?
It's all brick, and there's a sort of a cast iron, wrought iron.
Yes, correct. It's an all brick frontage, and there's a cast iron fence that you'll see. It's the coolest fence you'll probably ever see. Just kidding. So we've got beer coming out. You're about to get yours. I'm about to get mine. Okay. So we are tasting Mon Precieux right now. That's the Belgian triple/golden strong. This is 7.75% ABV. It's about 30 IBUs. And smells good. Smells good to me. So flavor profile on this one, for me, I get a little bit of honey, a little bit of like orange marmalade, a little bit of lemon, and definitely a little bit of spice. When it's super fresh, you're going to get a little bit of banana and clove, but this one's aged a little bit at our brewery. And so that kind of, when it is super fresh, that's where you get a little bit more of the Belgian triple style. It's more pronounced. And the /golden strong is one of my favorite beers, probably my favorite beer is Duvel. That is really clean and very peppery. So we have these underlying tones of a Belgian triple, but it is still at the same time, it's got this rustic, peppery sort of musk around it. And I don't know if musk is the best flavor descriptor. I'm sure Ronnie, our brewer, would kill me if he heard this. So don't advertise this podcast. But that's kind of what I'm getting. I don't know if anybody else has, what does anybody else get out of these? Shout it out. Anybody get anything at all? Anything? Does it taste good? Does anybody like it? Okay, yeah, this is good. All right. Other than what I said, do you guys pick up any sorts of other aromas or flavors from this one? Melon and cucumber. I would throw that in there. Yes.
I'm not a clove guy. I really like this more aged. Got rid of that.
Have you had it when it was fresh and it had more clove?
I have not.
Well,
We let us in on a Wednesday night, as a matter of fact, Wednesday evening.
then it's pretty good.
Months ago, and had a couple beers with you, but didn't have this one.
Well, we're glad you're checking it out now. So I'll tell you a little bit about the naming of this beer. So its proper name is Mon Precieux, and that means my precious in French. And so when we were going about naming beers, it's obviously you can tell lots of breweries fight over who can use what and whatever. We were trying to think of, traditionally golden strongs and triples have some sort of an evil name. So it's Duvel means devil. There's a bunch of other ones that are, what's that? Le Fin du Monde, yeah, end of the world. Some other ones that I can't really draw off the top of my head right now. But if you guys know anything about our brewery, we're big into superheroes and movies and music and, just whatever strikes us at the time. And I think I was watching The Lord of the Rings, and Gollum seemed to stick in my head. My precious is this evil, all-wielding, powerful being. And to me, this beer fit that description because it's something so precious and delicate and light, but also it will put you on your butt if you're not careful because it's going on 8% and it drinks like it's less than that. So that's kind of the main story behind this beer. We can actually do some cans and bottles, sell it in stores, and maybe expand our footprint a little bit more because we're only in St. Charles and Wildwood. We'd like to at least sell our beer to Columbia and Kansas City at some point, maybe Springfield as well. So, yeah. Yes?
So where are you looking?
Not far from where we're at, where you like the city. Yeah. My idea for our tap handles, which has a light bulb on it, it was in about 2010, and the name of my brewery at the time was going to be Clever Craft Brewery because I heard this announcer for the World Cup talking about when there was a good move on the soccer field, he would say, "Oh, what a clever move." And I was like, "Oh, light bulb pops up over my head. That sounds really cool. Clever Craft Brewery." I did not want to alienate not clever people, so I. But I really liked the light bulb because like the light bulb popped over my head like a Wile E. Coyote kind of story, and I really liked it. I thought the marketing behind it was going to be awesome. So, keep the light bulb. How can we incorporate something so simple like a light bulb, and give it some sort of descriptor without alienating non-clever people? And the thought behind that was, well, what is a light bulb? And to me, it was the epitome of modern technology, electricity. The light bulb made it so people could see in their houses without a candle, threat of burning down their house, all these other things. So modern fit for me. It was essentially, when anybody plans a craft brewery, they have to, well, some don't, some do. You want to plan to have, some growth. And for us to be called Manchester, 5231 Manchester Brewery, wouldn't really have much selling power in Columbia or Kansas City or anywhere else in the world. But if you have something that may relate to another person in another place, that would be the ideal thing that you can market to those people. And so that is why we went with modern. And that is why we are still called modern with a light bulb. So, all right, next beer, right? Cool. Next beer. Next beer is Clandestine. This is one of my favorites. It is also aged a little bit, and I prefer it a lot more this way because when it's brand new and fresh, you get a lot of banana, and I'm not a huge fan of banana in beer. No disrespect to Weihenstephaner. That's a great beer, but I don't generally typically like the banana. So there's a little bit. You get a little bit, but smelling deep into this one, you get a lot of fig and a lot of plum and a lot of raisin, brown sugar, all those like dark delicacy, savory, super savory beer. This one's about 7% and 24 IBUs, I believe. And it's kind of that mishmash between a Belgian dark strong and a double, but doesn't necessarily have that super high octane alcohol percentage. It's 7, still pretty tall, but we wanted to make this one a little bit more sessionable. So we used some brown sugar. We used the Belgian yeast strain. It's an Abbey strain. And I think with a little bit of age, this one comes out really nice. It's also especially good when you throw it into a Cabernet barrel, and you get a little bit of fruit, like ripe red fruit on top of this nose. It blends very well together. Yes? We did not. No. This is straight up old school Clandestine. I mean, it smells like a dessert to me. Yeah. Okay. So, Citrapolis. Oh, yeah, that's big. So, I kind of picked this one to be right after the Clandestine because you're going to go from super malty to super hoppy. And this is really going to make that nose just jump out. Citrapolis is our flagship. Most of you have had it, which is awesome. I appreciate that. It's 6.8%. It's about 70 IBUs, and it's all citra hopped. And we just recently started tweaking with this recipe. I don't know why, but we want to try and consistently make this beer as good as we possibly can. And so what we did on this is we upped the dry hop a little bit. And one of the cool things about playing around with citra itself is you can keep adding more and more hops into your dry hop if you want to, without a whole lot of fear of like this beer smelling like green grass or getting, let's see, what was it? The more hops you use when you dry hop of like some other styles of hops, you'll get more green rather than fruity. And we really wanted to keep this beer as fruity as possible. And so we played around, and I think we're kind of at a really sweet spot on this one. So I guess part of my class, for myself, was I went to, we get most of our hops from a place called Yakima Chief, and they have aroma descriptors for Citra, for Mosaic, and for Galaxy. And I'm going to read you guys what Yakima Chief says you're going to get from the aroma, and then I'm going to tell you what I think we get from the aroma, because they're pretty different, at least on the next two. But for Citra, the aroma properties they say are grapefruit, which I completely agree with, melon, lime. I've never smelled a gooseberry, but gooseberry. Passion fruit and lychee. I've also never really, I don't think, stuck my nose into some lychee. Lychee? See, there you go. I've never, if I would have smelled it, I would have been like, that's more lychee than lychee. So, oh, well, kiwi I like. I know that. You never know. You learn something new every day. I told you that earlier. Melon. Yeah. So I get pineapple. My big two on this are grapefruit and pineapple. And you get passion fruit? Okay. I'm not here to hate.
You ever had a hurricane?
I have.
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah. It's a citrus storm in there. So, all right, now that you guys know the big little dirty secret about Citrapolis and being a bigger dry hop, can anybody tell the difference? No? Okay. What about on the nose?
Different from the original?
Yeah.
Never really had a lot of that.
Okay, fair enough. Anyone?
I wasn't sure that it was Citrapolis, but I thought it was.
Yeah. Good thing or bad thing? Just a thing? Okay, fair enough. Hey. Oh. Maybe a little better? Definitely tastes better. It tastes better. It tastes better. Everyone. Yes, all at the same time. Yes, let's get this in your head. It tastes better. This is one of the joys of being a craft brewer is you can tinker around with your stuff, and you can pretty much be sure, other than Tim's good buddy who drinks Citrapolis every single day at Bar Louie in Kirkwood, and calls Tim when it's not tasting right. He's like, hey man, this batch is a little off, you know? But for those who drink it every now and then, you don't really taste the difference. It's all for us. We're trying to make it as good as we possibly can make it, and hopefully our small little iterations make everybody happy and make you guys think that it just keeps getting better. So that's our goal. If this was, a big macro-produced beer, we wouldn't have that luxury. We'd have to be checking the water, the hops, the yeast, the grain for every single little statistic that is going to be different. And we just, it'd take 500 people to do that, and we only have 5, so we can't really do that. But any questions about Citrapolis? The name. Exactly. Hit the nail on the head. Superman. That's one of Ronnie's favorite superheroes. So he gets the glory for coming up with this name. That's his. But it's ours, obviously. It's his, but it's ours. No, he originally I didn't even want to make IPAs, and that's all we sell. So thankfully, Ronnie made this beer because this was a beer. I personally, my IBU threshold is generally about 90, and I guess I'm speaking to a crowd full of malty beer lovers, I guess. So, this one, the new one is called Odinson. It's Odinson. Well, you get the drift here. This guy. So, sticking with the comic book theme, we also really like Thor, and Thor is the son of Odin. Pretty cool, huh? This one is all mosaic hopped. And this beer, so a little bit, let me backtrack a second. Citrapolis sold really well in 2014 when we introduced it, and through 2015. And it sold so well that we basically were on the verge of running out of citra hops. And we wanted to sell IPAs because they were going well. And every new account people would call say, hey, can we get Citrapolis? And I had to say no. And the no was because we couldn't get enough citra hops in to make more Citrapolis to sell to other people. So we decided we needed to come up with basically a backup IPA. And this is our backup IPA, which to me is done so well that it's going to stick around for hopefully forever and for always, because it's one of my favorites. We basically reproduced Citrapolis's malt bill with a couple of minor tweaks to give it a little bit more color, and also we mashed in a little bit lower to give a drier mouthfeel than Citrapolis. So there's very subtle differences, but the execution is pretty dang close. And then the main difference is that we use mosaic hops instead of citra. So the mosaic from Yakima Chief says blueberry, which I don't know if anybody's getting any blueberry, but that's not me. Tangerine, papaya, rose blossom, grass, and bubblegum. Anybody get any of the papaya or the rose blossom? No? I didn't think so. Those are tough ones to pick out. Maybe a papaya? Yeah, maybe a little bit of papaya. I think depending on the temperature, there might be a little bit of bubblegum that sneaks in there. I don't know. Maybe a little bit. But my notes on this is that I'm getting a lot of pine, some mango, and some orange tangerine. So, yeah. Yeah, it's a little bit drier than the Citrapolis, so it may have a little tiny bit more perceived bitterness than the last one, even though it has less IBUs. It has a little bit more bitterness, which I apologize for those out there that don't really like it, but this is an educational experience. It's to train your palate. It's come together. Yeah, this one is 6.6% ABV. As I said, we mashed in at a lower temperature, which means we have less starch converted to sugar less, I'm not going to get into the technicalities, but we use less grain, and we mashed in at a lower temperature to give perceived dryness on the finished beer. That's what we did. And I don't know, I really like it. It's one of my favorites. So. The only problem with tasting 3 IPAs in a row is they tend to run together a little bit. They tend to run they tend to run, and they have a lot of alcohol in them, so if I slur, my bad. I got a second shift. I got to drink some water here pretty soon. Yeah. So this is the Healer, and it's Heeler, not Healer, because we wouldn't want to make a false claim and say that this is actually going to heal you, even though, depending on what you're drinking it for, it may. This beer was named after Citra, Ronnie's dog, and my dog named Hank, and they are both Healers. They're Australian cattle dogs. And we got these from the farmer that comes and picks up our grain at the brewery. He had a litter, and they were so freaking cute that we had to get them. They're about 2.5 years old now, or going on 3. Total pains in the butt, but they're awesome. And we figured we needed to make a beer that we could drink and, kind of pay homage to them. So this is to Hank and Citra, and any other Healers out there, Healer dog owners, maybe, I don't know. It's an APA, I guess, a little bit less than an IPA. So APA, IPA, who cares? They're both the same. pretty close. This one is 6.4% ABV and 45 IBUs. So it's less actual bitterness, even though it still has quite a bit of perceived bitterness. And this has my favorite hop in it, Galaxy. Galaxy, they didn't give me a lot from Yakima Chief. They said passion fruit and clean citrus. So those who know passion fruit like the hurricane, you get that, I guess. But we say tropical fruit Skittles. Not the purple bag, the blue bag. Yes. That's what we get. And that's kind of, I think, maybe why we like it so much. It's got that candied deliciousness to it. Maybe almost like a sour candy, but not sour candy in a good way. It is clean citrus, so I guess Yakima Chief is not all that wrong. And it's just a really fun little beer to drink. It won't give you as big of a buzz as Citrapolis or Odinson. So what does anybody else think about this one? It's a little bit foggier, a little bit more color. It's got a little bit more body than the other two. Anyone? Trying to be Socratic here. Socratic seminar? Anyone? Chime in? Yeah? Okay.
Does anybody like this one better than the first two?
We got 1, 2, 3, 4, maybe 4, 5, 4.5. It is not as bitter. It does have perceived bitterness, but it's not quite as bitter. Yeah, it tastes like hops, for sure. It's juicy. They're all juicy, but it's juicy.
People in the room, one more thing you guys have to do for me. You have to turn off your Wi-Fi and use your cell data. So I know you guys are going to be like, boo, oh my God, I don't have any more data left on my phone. All right, you guys all with me? It won't work if you're not using cell data. It's just not, I don't know, the Wi-Fi is just weak in here. You guys all with me? All right? Okay, this is what I want you to do. Everybody good? I want you to go to this URL. And there's going to be, and hopefully there'll be a picture that's going to come up. The URL is, and you don't have to do the www, you don't have to put that in. It's 11, so 11z, as in zebra, .co /364 /7. If you did it right, a picture of someone named Harry Houdini should be on your screen. How many people see Harry? How many people see Harry Houdini? All right, I'll give it to you one more time. All right, that's right. You want me to give it to you one more time? All right, you need to put this in the address bar. 11z .co /364 /7, the number 7. Yes, that's right. All right? Everybody got it? Okay. You guys good? You guys good? You got it? Everybody have the picture? Okay, good. You guys will notice that Harry Houdini is holding a card, right? So you guys have to turn off your Wi-Fi. All right. So you'll notice that he has a card. So Harry Houdini, everybody knows who that is, right? Everybody knows him as being a famous escape artist. Now, Harry Houdini, what a lot of people don't know is that he was kind of a master card-ician, I guess you could say. He was really a master at cards, but he didn't really show just how good he was at cards very often. So when he died, he wanted to leave a legacy, not just for his water torture chamber, which he died in, but he wanted to leave something for his legacy on card magic as well. So we're going to do a little test here, and we're going to test and see how Harry did. He wanted to create a card trick that he could do from the grave. That's sort of what this is, all right? So I'm going to turn around. I'm going to take this hat, and I'm going to throw this hat to someone in the audience. You guys have to catch it. Don't let it spill your beer so you're pissed at me or anything. You're just going to catch this hat. I'm going to turn around, okay? Are you ready? Here we go. Somebody has to catch it. Somebody got it? Okay. All right. Hold on. I'm not going to look. Whoever caught it, pick a color, either red or black. Red. Okay. Throw the hat to someone else. Somebody have it? Okay. Pick a suit. Pick either diamonds or hearts. Hearts. All right. So we're dealing with a heart. Throw that to someone else. Somebody got it? All right, I want you to pick a value. So one of the cards, it's going to be a heart. What heart is it? Queen? Is that right? Queen. Okay. All right, I'm going to turn around now because it doesn't really make a difference anymore. So here's the thing. I did that so that this would be random, all right? So who picked the queen? No, seriously, who picked the queen? Gail, is it you? Okay, that's fine. I want you to stare at the card on your phone. If you don't have it on your phone, stare at someone else's. Can you guys see the card changing at this point? Can you see it? If you can see it, then you need to go see a doctor because that would be impossible. See, here's the thing. Harry knew which card you were going to choose before you chose it. This is his card trick. This is called the Harry Houdini's last card trick. See, it's not the card that's going to change. It's actually the reflection in Harry's eyes. So zoom in to Harry's eyes and see what it says. What does it say? What does it say? Look at the other eye. Queen of Hearts, right? Queen of Hearts. There you go. Right on. You guys act like you see this every day. I'm going to keep telling bad jokes till you applaud or something. I mean, come on. Seriously. Thank you. Right on. Thanks, guys. That was just a little taste. Maybe I'll do something else at some point down the line, but I hope you guys enjoyed that. Before you guys leave, come up to the front, get your $10 gift certificate so you guys can go to the brewery and get some good beer, and I will see you all next week. Thanks.